Hello learners, and welcome to week 36 of ConnexU. This week we're going to be taking a look at the topic of reflections, and it's important now that we're coming to the end of the school year that we reflect on the great accomplishments we did, maybe what we need to work on, what we can do to improve even the rest of the school year, so we finish strong. Okay, so let us begin. Okay, so what exactly is a reflection? Reflecting on work enhances its meaning. So what is it? Reflections are about students or learners becoming aware of their own thinking processes and being able to share them with others. Reflections help to understand the how and the why you learn something and help to know what your next step is in learning. And it's not a bad thing to share out with other learners. Some of my learners in the SLP will learn something and then they'll share exactly where they found the resources, how this works. So it's not such a bad thing to reflect on how you learned something, maybe why it was easier for you for this process, and keep moving on it. So it says we do not learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on experience. So why is self-reflection important? Self-reflection is a way to assess yourself, which includes your ways of working and how you study. Replace the word reflection with thinking and you get self-thinking. That's exactly what self-reflections are. Reflecting helps you develop your skills and review their effectiveness. So are they working for you? Based on how much progress you've made, your scores, is there something that you need to change? So these are things to ask yourself, reflection questions. So strengths, what are your strengths? For example, am I well organized? Do I remember things? Should I maybe, be writing more things down? Should I be taking more notes? Should I have a better system to keep me organized? Weaknesses. So what are your weaknesses? Am I easily distracted? Do I need more practice with a particular skill? Some skills. What skills do I have and what am I good at? Problems. What problems are there at work or home that may affect me? For example, responsibilities or distractions, they may impact your study or your work. And I know learners have told me before that sometimes their part-time jobs are becoming more like full-time jobs and they're not able to get their work done. Or maybe somebody asks you to babysit a lot because you're available, or they think you're available because you're doing your schoolwork. So sort of look at those. Achievements, what have I achieved so far? Have I finished a class? Am I proud about some of my grades or progress in certain classes? Happiness, are there things that I am unhappy with or disappointed about? What makes me happy? So maybe you scored poorly on a test, or maybe you didn't understand a certain concept. So reach out to your learning guide, myself, or your instructors, and ask them to reset something, or how can you get some help? Solutions. What can I do to improve in these areas? So it's important that once you sort of pinpoint what your weaknesses are and what your strengths are, how can you improve? Because everybody can always improve. I used to love it when I had some friends that were English majors in college. They would look at my papers that I wrote for history or English or whatever, and they would go through and they would mark it up, and then I would go back and I would fix it. And it's always good to have somebody else look at your work. And I knew that that was not one of my huge strengths. Sometimes, I struggled with finding the correct wording for different things. So I would have somebody who was good at it try to help me, and then I would reflect on it and say, okay, so that's what I need to improve on. Okay, so reflect on this year. Go ahead and take a moment to reflect on this past school year. Ask yourself the questions on the previous slide. What can you have done differently to become more successful? Tell me and I will forget. Show me and I may remember. Involve me and I will understand. So it's important to be able to talk and write about your experiences. So that's what we're going to focus on this week. We're going to have a little bit of reflection and have you think about, what happened that was amazing for you this year, what you could have done differently. Okay, so any questions or concerns, of course, reach out to me. And if not, you have a wonderful week. Thanks. Bye.